party. Llama, llama party.
That's right.
Llama party. Llama, llama party.
So what's significant in the world that we could talk about?
It's 2020, man. What's not significant? We should focus on the boring stuff. There's nothing boring going on in the world.
No, everything's pretty interesting.
Everything's on fire, and if it's not on fire, it's about to be set on fire. So
If it's not on fire, it's got an awkward hairpiece and no one talks about it.
like the president. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty much. I don't know. There's just so many things what to talk about. Like, oh man, there's popular things that goes on in 2020. Let's see, free money, stimulus checks, OnlyFans, diseases.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. That's a big. Man, coughing, masks. You know, we're almost through. We're like it's September,
And I had to have a job interview, so I had to cut my beard off. And I have to say that wearing a mask is significantly easier
I bet.
without a beard.
I bet.
Yeah, it's completely easier. I'm still mad about it, but
Yeah, you need to grow that thing back. Like, just get a beard back, man.
I'm working on it.
I felt like the COVID years just made everybody facial hair grow except for Zaylen. Like, everybody, like, it just, like, you know what, this is the trade-off. Everybody grew. Like, I'm not going to cut this thing off. I think I look great. Like, I love it.
You do. You look fantastic. If you are a man and you can grow good facial hair, you should have a beard.
Oh, 100%.
That's just what it is.
I've been even my head, I've been bald for like 3 years. Now I got hair on my head. Like, I was like, why not?
Just let it happen.
Yeah, let it happen.
It's the Viking way. Just grow it all out.
Right? I think it's like taking negatives to positives. One thing I've noticed is like being on Twitter is like so much cancel culture. Oh my God, we're canceling everything. You can't even like if you're not like fascist and agree with one way, you're getting canceled.
Yeah.
You know, the only uncancelable is the president. You know,
I've said this before. I've said it in the group chat. The reason why he doesn't get canceled is because he does not allow himself to be canceled.
This is why I hope
Someone will bring some shit up to do with Trump, and he'll just be like, never happened.
Exactly.
And everyone forgets about it.
This is why I have faith in the Velveteen Dream. They want him canceled so bad.
Oh, they do.
The wrestler Velveteen Dream. He's one of the greatest wrestlers right now, and potentially the greatest wrestler in there. He's so good, and they're trying to cancel him. And they say they have evidence, but it doesn't seem like they have evidence. Yeah, but you know, pedophilia is a big thing. People care about pedophilia.
Yeah.
Which, like 5 years ago, it was widely accepted, but nobody wants to agree how accepted it was.
I just want to know, like, I agree that pedophilia is wrong, obviously. I just want to know how far we're following this trail down.
Well, I think everybody disagrees. Even pedophiles disagree with pedophilia. It was just accepted, right?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't get publicly or socially shamed for being a pedophile. And like people try and act like now, like, yeah, I would, whatever else, but it's like everybody had that cousin. Everybody had that family member.
I want to know how far we're following it down because most of y'all are Christians and all of your heroes from the Bible were like 80 and married 12-year-olds.
Man,
just throwing that out there.
Let's take it further to the women that turn 18 and then marry the pastor.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they just found love. Like, as soon as she turned 18, like, they knew they could be together. Like, come on. Come on, right? Like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Or what was the thing? It was so widely accepted that I think it was 2010. The song with Drake and Lil Wayne, Every Girl in the World, and it was like Miley Cyrus in 3 years, holler at me.
Grooming.
Right? Like he legit was like, yo, you look good for 15, hit me in 3 years, right?
Yeah.
The grooming, like, that was accepted, right? Let's go even further, 90s, right? Sylvester the Molester, a.k.a. R. Kelly. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, Sylvester Robert Kelly is his name, Sylvester the Molester.
Okay, I'm with you.
Right, produced Aaliyah's 15-year-old album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. During that time, R. Kelly comes out with a song called Bump and Grind. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. You can't make it more obvious. You can't make it more obvious. Age ain't nothing but a number. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Come on.
You may be onto something here.
Like, this is the thing, right?
Detective Jesse on the case.
I'm on it, bro. Right? Like, you gotta look at it and audit. And then we can take it for, like, the rumors in Hollywood, because we want to cancel all Hollywood. But like, there was comedians literally talking about Weinstein for years, and it's like you just allow rumors to just go. Like it's kind of crazy. Like these rumors, like nobody want to look into these rumors, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that comedian's funny. There's no truth to it. No one want to check on it. It's kind of weird,
Yeah. I mean, you heard like whispers about that kind of thing, but you weren't, as a civilian, I wasn't sure how serious to take it. Mm-hmm.
But then taking it further, like if we go into other cultures, like in Japan, it's kind of weird and different. Do we cancel Japan because
isn't there age of consent something like 14 or something?
It's something like that. But it's like our man-made law because it is man-made, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to go by physical nature, like 12 is like where you should say. But if you want to go by mentally when you're prepared, it's like 25.
Yeah.
You can't tell no 25-year-old they can't have sex.
Yeah, totally.
No 21-year-old.
Because I was shit until I was 25. Like, I was a child mentally until I got, like, 25, 26. That was probably when I started getting my shit together.
I definitely could have held off having sex at 25. I won't even deny it. Definitely could have used those years, but, like, sex was, like, I'm surprised I lasted as long as I did because I didn't want sex. I tried to, and it just happened. Like, I was like, man, what is it? Pussy all around me. Peninsula maybe, but I'm no island or something. No, wetness all around me. I'm no island. Peninsula maybe, right? Because it's really easy. I don't know how Simpson incels don't do it, right? Like I don't know.
Are we back to Simpson incels?
It feel like we're gonna swerve off. Like I want to talk about Japan because I want to talk about other places because we can't hold this a weird American standard.
Yeah.
The other spots, right? We can't, right? But anime kind of pushes these things, right?
We have to ride this line, right? We have to ride this line of like, obviously there's an age too young for people to be engaged in sex. And also the laws that we kind of judge everybody by are kind of fictitious and just generated out of nowhere by other people.
That's true.
So,
but do we cancel medias because it's pushing it? If that's the case, first episode of Dragon Ball, little 10-year-old Goku was patting a 6-year-old Bulma's vagina. She canceled, fam.
Well, but that was like 80s Japan.
But do we cancel it? We cancel things.
There's a lot we could cancel Japan
People
about.
trying to cancel Elvis, so should we cancel Dragon Ball? No, I'm being real.
I say no. I'm going to vote no.
You going to vote no? Oh, you don't even watch Dragon Ball. You going to defend it like that?
I've watched it a couple times. It's just not as fun without the laser beams and stuff.
I mean, I think it's about more martial arts. Yeah, but you got to look for
but that's more boring than energy beams.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, like how do we hold? What is the standard? What is the right move that we, cancel on, right?
And I think everything would be kind of okay if everyone just went after people in their own age groups.
I mean, that goes for like canceling like racism. How do we deem it, right? Like who is the racist we cancel? Whose racism do we keep? Who gets to deem that, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's really difficult. And like once again, anime, Dragon Ball Z had Hitler. Like a lot of animes have just Hitler being Hitler. Like
we're not gonna even talk about Popo.
What was Jinx?
Yeah, Jinx was super racist.
They actually changed. Jinx is more purple and she's changed.
Yeah, because everyone freaked out about it.
Oh yeah, people straight up called it out. But it's like, once again, that was Japan,
Bitch, don't tell me what to do!
Right, like, do we just cancel Popo? I don't know. Do they show Popo anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, he has a different hue, but...
He's still got the big old lips.
He's like bluish.
Yeah.
Now. I think he was supposed to be a genie, and it just didn't come across the right way.
How far do we take blackface? Because I noticed blackface is going so far. Like, if you tan your skin and Latino face, brown face, it's deemed. And I made this argument to somebody, right? I was like, all right, well, and I'm going to do it again because 'tis the season. R.I.P. to a real king, Chadwick Boseman. If your little white kid says their favorite character is Black Panther and they dress up as Black Panther for Halloween, wears the mask and everything else, that's blackface. By how far we're taking the standard. And they're like, no, it's not. It's not cultural appropriation. He's literally dressed up as an African king.
Yeah.
Fictional African king, but still an African king. Like,
so do we draw the line at like fictional characters or?
But
is the costume okay? But like the.
But if somebody did a King of the Hill outfit and one of the kids was John Redcorn, that's a fictional character.
I think there's a way you could do it tastefully.
But is it about tastefully though?
I don't know. I don't think I'm authorized to make that dictation.
Like, but who is?
Yeah.
Who is? We got all these people. Like, who is actually authorized to be canceling people? Like, I look on Twitter and like, oh, this person's over party. We canceled Doja Cat like 5 times this year. Like, we just be canceling people.
See, and this is where we get into territory that I'm just not familiar with because I don't know who these people are.
You don't want to listen to new stuff. I send it in the chat. Just listen to new stuff, bro. Doja Cat is just really like, she would date you. She's beautiful, gorgeous. I can't even say that word because it's cancelable. The M word, mulatto. She's mixed.
Okay.
She's a mixed girl, light skin, nice booty, very slender. She makes all this music white women love, right? And she was. There's a person I want to use, but I can't use an example. But she's one of them chicks that was like of color, a person of color that black people just kind of didn't deem because she's too nerdy. So white people liked her, but they were super racist, kind of like, oh, I've never been with a black girl type person, right? So she got caught in these old chats where they're just demeaning her, and she's like shaking her butt towards all these like white incels, and they're just being racist, hard R on her and everything else, demeaning her, and it pops back up on her, right? And then she had a song called "Didn't Do Nothing," which is a term talking about like you didn't do anything, as in what mothers yelled at police when their black kids are getting arrested. He didn't do anything, didn't do nothing, right? That's a slang.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a slur. She made a song about that. She was talking about Sandra Bland. You know, Sandra Bland, super, controversial because apparently like she just killed herself, but in custody of the police.
Yeah,
about, like,
one of those.
Right, like she Epstein herself.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like she gets canceled, but she also got canceled because she talked trash about Beyonce. So it's like, man, you don't want to go against the Beehive, man.
I'm sure Beyonce's feelings are quite hurt in her multi-trillion-dollar house.
You'd be surprised. You get so to that level, like how Trump is. Like, you talk bad about Trump, he cries about it. Now everybody Trump supporters is like, well, we need to attack that person that hurt his feelings.
Well, so Trump, I think, is a unique case in like rich people. I really do, because like he's the only titty baby that I've seen in the rich people crowd. The only person who gets like offended if anyone criticizes him.
I don't know, man.
Because like Elon wouldn't care.
Yeah, but we seen Kanye get wigged out.
Yeah, but Kanye I don't think, is he a billionaire yet?
Kanye has just stated this week that he is now more money than Trump. He's $5 billion.
Oh man,
he is
Jesus.
He became a billionaire. Forbes didn't want to count. He showed all the papers to be a billionaire. During that time, because the Yeezys kept going up during the COVID time, he became up to like $3 billion. They didn't want to count it. Ever since he did the Gap deal, now he's $5 billion. He is clearly past Trump.
That's wild, dude.
This is why I don't even trip. Like, Kanye be acting crazy. I'd be like, oh, look at Kanye, wow, right? Because Kanye making money. Like now he said he's like $5 billion. Like, he makes so much money, bro. He's just balling. Like, he may be the richest black person.
That's
also,
so wild.
Tyler
dude.
Perry has become a billionaire, the 13th billionaire. So this year, Kanye and Tyler Perry are 2 new billionaires.
Because like, and granted, like I'm not super plugged into the hip hop culture because I'm just a corny white dude, but like
as you should not be.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. Because if you didn't, you'd be like MGK.
Yeah. But the first time I ever saw Kanye West was like on Chappelle's show when he would do the musical features on there. So for him to be at that level is just it's wild.
Crazy. 5 years ago, he was $5 million in debt. $50 million. My bad. He was $53 million in debt. You know, like he was going on one of those rants 5 years ago. He was $53 million in debt. And it's wild because he said he was a billionaire when he did that little church thing. He was like, I'm a Christian billionaire. G. They're like, no, you were in debt a couple years ago. You're not a billionaire, right? Mm-hmm. But they didn't want to prove it. Then it shows like he is a billionaire, which is like a beautiful rags to riches story. And people get mad because I'll be like celebrating. He's like, well, he sold his soul for his money. And it's just like, man, you know how many people be trying to sell their soul for money? We have a lot more black billionaires.
Bro, I would sell my soul to be like comfortable.
Just to be comfortable.
Just to be comfortable.
It's that much of a struggle.
Yeah.
But that's why I compliment like the man made it. So but once again, Kanye be getting bent out of shape. He be getting upset. And he's not the only person. Like other billionaires kind of get upset over things, right? But you don't like Bill Gates doesn't get on social. I don't even know he has social media.
No.
Or Zuckerberg or Bezos.
But that's the difference between like where they get their money from, right?
That's true.
Kanye is an entertainer. He is an artist.
He is.
Bill Gates is not. He designs technology and software.
I always take it Kanye needs to be in the state of like everybody's like, oh, Kanye needs help, he needs this and everything else. I think for an artist, for what kind of Kanye is, he needs all this energy to create more. Being clothes, being music, cause he just creates stuff. Like if you listen at least 3 Kanye albums, there's not the same album. Like Kanye doesn't repeat the same album. That's why I was trying to tell you. And you listen to Yeezus, and you was like, bro, this is wild. I'm digging it. You was like, this is.
And still to this day, that's my favorite record.
Such a different Kanye album.
Yeah.
Right, and I feel like he needs that type of energy. He needs this type of thing, so he'll go on these rants.
But that's like fairly common with like really creative people. Is they're always a little crazy.
Yes.
That's just the way it is.
That's why I talk about it. And I think he needs it. That's why I put him in there. Like, Trump is one area, I put Kanye there, right? They're also uncancelable, but it's also weird. So, when Kanye wore the MAGA hat, people tried to cancel him. And people, it didn't go far. People still tried to trap. It didn't go far because people, was like, so we trying to cancel Kanye over R. Kelly. And that's where people what? And
Wait. What?
They tried to cancel Kanye for wearing the MAGA hat over R. Kelly, who was a known pedophile. And that's when people stepped in and was like, wait, what? What is this comparison? R. Kelly all day. Like, what did Kanye do? And everybody's like, well, he's supporting racism and all this other stuff. Supporting Trump doesn't actually equal racism. You can also say supporting Democrats is equal racism. So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And he was like, R. Kelly is a known pedophile. Is a clearly known pedophile.
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of hit the switch, and it started building up because Kanye's not a pedophile.
Yeah.
He defends all this stuff, right? But it was weird how the mindset went because Kanye puts on a MAGA hat, and there was one of the OGs of Crips, the rapper Corrupt, was like, Kanye put on the MAGA hat, I'm putting a hit on Kanye's head, and everybody's like, really? You're gonna put a hit on Kanye's head, but you got R. Kelly doing this? You got all these other pedophiles doing this? You got all these KKK members doing this? Why don't you do the war of Crips against KKK members?
And this comes down to something we were kind of leaving out in the hall and talking about before we started recording. Is everyone's takes on everything are oversimplified.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is.
And that's the thing is you signify Trump as being a shitty person, a bad leader. I do. But most people see that and they're like, oh, if you support Trump, you're also a shitty, bad person. And that things are never that simple.
It's not that simple at all.
No.
Because you can make the same argument supporting Biden or Hillary.
Yeah.
Right?
Everything is far more complicated than anyone gives it credit for.
Also, you need to know your morals aren't always 100% right.
Yeah. Yeah, we are, all of us, as an animal, we have a tendency to lean into emotion. Because that's your gut instinct, right? But that's rarely the correct take, is what your emotions are telling you.
Yep. But making statements just bothers people. And I'd be thinking, do I just want to make a statement out here? I can be so truthful with them, but I can just be, if you're ahead of your time, if your statement's ahead of your time, you're just as bad as somebody. You get deemed to stir in your pot.
Yep.
It's really, it's just wild to me. And I just feel like people need to look at more art. Mm-hmm. Anime is a good form of art. Everybody's watching The Last Avatar. Also is really good. It's American. I actually was defending somebody. I was like, American animation is better than Japanese animation. That can clearly get me canceled because there's so many weebs out here. American animation, by far, American cartoons are better than the anime. We can compare it because the only difference of it is the stories are set differently, right? I would say American fiction is better than Japanese fiction. Japanese fiction is always a different person, and they do a finite story, right? And then they're done. Story for Americans, you have so many people doing different takes on it. Superman's been going on forever, but there've been so many stories by different people. Mm-hmm. That's the only difference, and that's why sometimes you don't have the best person doing it. But Batman's story overall beats any anime story. Superman's story beats any anime story. Justice League.
What's Batman's story? Is it
his parents got shot?
Rich guy has cool gadgets.
Okay, go into depth. It's a little bit more. He was a kid. okay, Gotham was Chicago. Chicago, where it's heading, right? It's super crime, everything else. For some reason, his parents were like, let's go to this theater that just got a bunch of gangbangers. Whatever. We're going to go there. We're going to take a little white kid. You know, we ballers. You know how ballers do, right? We don't got no butler or bodyguard. No, everybody knows we ballers, right? All right, let's walk down the alley to go to the bus. Because we ballers. We do normal things. We connect. This guy, oh no, Lord behold, is in the alleyway with a gun. Oh no, he knows who we are because we're ballers, right? Bang bang, shoots us both. Kid is traumatized because like my family is, right? Like they shot in my head, right? It traumatizes him, right? His butler, because they're ballers at this Wayne Manor. They live outside the city, how all his land. He's like, what do you want to do? You can, he's just like, I don't know, hurt. Fell down a cave, depending on what story. Sees a bunch of bats. I'm scared of bats. Whatever. He takes his fear and uses it, right? And uses this abnormal amount of money he has. And uses all, and he gets 12 degrees. He gets 12 degrees in schooling, right? Learns Martian. Never forget that. People don't talk about. Batman knows so many languages. He also knows Martian. Because Batman was just in case of alien robbers, right? So becomes like the greatest detective, learns multiple martial arts, trains under the greatest assassins, right? And has all this like tech, right? Has all this because the reason he's such rich because he's a arms dealer. That's every arms dealer is really common. So he used all his tech. And he's like, I'm here for justice, freedom. I'm Batman, right? So now, you sell an eighth of weed. Batman breaks your arm. Where are they? Come on, Batman, don't talk.
Where's the cartel?
Hey, Batman, you just gave me 3 concussions. I can't talk, bro. My jaw doesn't work anymore, right?
Dude, like, I was over here laughing just because of, like, the whole story's pretty streamlined, except for the entire ethos of his identity is, like, rich child, parents got killed. Well, side story, he fell down a hole one day and saw a bunch of bats.
He's like, ah!
And now that's his whole identity.
That's his whole identity. Well, and that's the cool part where you add to that is apparently Batman is his actual identity, and Bruce Wayne is the alias.
That's dumb. That's some white people shit.
That is 100%. It's kind of like The Rock is the main character and Dwayne Johnson is the alias, right? Like him doing the movies, like he goes home, he just throws the eyebrow, and he's just fully Rock at home. Like that's pretty much like what it's saying, like or Stone Cold. Like Stone Cold goes home, he's like, what? And he's like, why are you doing this? Just please be normal. You don't have to be Stone Cold here. You could be Steve Austin. But that's pretty much the whole like the Batman thing, and he's constantly struggling to put people in prison 1,000 times over and not kill them. And he's trying to ride that line of not being the villain. And that's the whole point. Because he has all this power and he struggles with it. By taking people in and all this stuff and helping. But he can clearly just, he's super smart. He's at the peak physical condition. He can clearly just start snapping necks, right? Mm-hmm. And he has the money by himself out of prison. But he struggles with that. And I don't think people don't talk about that. He struggles with the right and wrong because he breaks the law, but he doesn't want to go to that permanent level, right? He wants to stay with justice. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to be what became him. And that's the whole, and that's pretty much the Batman thing, why people get so entertained. And that's why you have the Joker, which the villain is just this crazy dude that's off the hinges. And it balances him because he's what Batman could become. Mm-hmm. Just off the hinges, just murdering people just because. Because you have that power. Yeah. Right? Great story. It's actually a great story. Not everybody does a great story of it.
If it means a lot to you, I was voting for Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Frost to win.
Oh, Mr. Freeze? Oh my God.
Just because of his ice puns.
Get me canceled. Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze was a great pick. All right, best thing about that movie. Because his one-liners.
Yeah.
Chill. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I watch it from time to time, and his puns make the whole movie.
The police go up, freeze. Wrong choice of words.
No, my favorite joke about Batman was that meme that was circulating not long ago. Is someone said that Batman could lose all his powers by being audited by the IRS.
I love Batman meme because it's so true.
Yeah.
Also, Batman can be canceled if they bring up the meme of him sleeping in with his Robins. He slept in the same bed as Robins. Biggest house, 1 billion rooms, 1,000 rooms, 100 rooms, all sorts of cool beds. I'm gonna sleep with these 10-year-old boys.
Well, rich people are into weird shit. It's always some rich people that are into like super crooked shit.
Man, I looked at the flight list and I saw Bruce Wayne's name on there. I didn't know how to feel.
Oh man. Dude, real talk. That flight list was so crazy.
I feel like we're talking about that every episode. It's so hurtful.
It's just so wild.
I just need the people I love not to be true.
I know.
Is it initiation? You get this wealth, you see all this wealth, and then you got this like 10-year-old boy. That's too dark. I'm sorry. Like, and that's Epstein's like, do you want to stay rich or you can be poor the rest of your life at the commoners? You know, and you got Bill Clinton and Trump and all them. Like, hey, what you gonna do? You know, hopefully not fucking Tom Hanks there. You know.
Have you noticed the religious crowd saying that it's a satanic pedophilia cult?
I mean, who was the guy that was right? The gay frogs guy?
Alex Jones.
He also said that.
But here's where the conflict comes, okay? The Church of Satan is extremely opposed to pedophilia and
Both
rape.
churches of Satan, the one that's atheist and the ones that truly believe in Satan, completely against it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like there's a religion that rich people believe in that's different we haven't talked about. There's some alien religion that's probably like a form of Scientology, but more dark, that it's about, I bet it's about making sacrifices. Like you have to sacrifice certain people, because you saw that was that story about they were taking all these little Haitian kids and drinking their blood. You know, that was like a complete thing going on. So I wonder, is this full thing of this certain religion we haven't touched on, or we may see, but it's so ridiculous we don't believe in, or whatever. Because remember, Scientology even had those little underground prisons.
Well, most of the old world religions like definitely involve an element of human sacrifice.
That's what I'm saying. I think one of them carry on, but they kind of like defend. They use something else. But at the same time, it's weird how Catholicism has their own country, and that tells me something, right? Like Catholicism has its own little country. Not Islamic belief, not Protestant, not all these other religions. Catholicism.
Yeah. Catholicism's real weird anyways.
Right? Like, it's weird. How did they get their own country? They don't have to be part of the UN. They get to do whatever they want, and it's super secretive.
Yeah.
Why does nobody invade?
Oh, we could do that.
What, invade?
You and me. We could invade the Vatican.
I feel like we need a rat.
I need to be quiet. I'm about to be amongst the Catholics, apparently.
Are you? Oh, yeah. That's right.
I'm about to be amongst the Catholics.
Oh, yeah. They're going to watch this thing and be like, oh, so we heard you talking shit. Gonna sit you down, peel your eyes back, and like start showing you like a ton of videos about Jesus, and you're gonna start believing in white Jesus.
I'm gonna start believing in blonde-haired, blue-eyed white Jesus.
Mm-hmm. This is gonna be different, haircut, whenever you're ready.
Blonde hair, blue-eyed white Jesus.
Yeah, you don't wanna. You're gonna have your haircut. You're gonna be so much different. You're gonna have this weird obsession with choir boys. It's gonna be weird.
I'm gonna be wearing white polos and khaki pants.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna be a youth minister. Oh man, that's like,
I'm gonna wear some puka shell necklace.
Oh my god!
You know who else has a wet ass pussy? Jesus.
Don't have some Sperry's on. That's your new look. Some khakis, polos, some Sperry's. Get wet for Jesus. Jesus. Oh, really? This is the canceled episode. Oh,
this is gonna be so canceled.
Shit. We've talked about Jesus and Batman. They don't got much heroes left.
No.
Nope. All the white men they love.
This episode is about killing heroes.
Yeah, what, Trump, Jesus, and Batman? I don't know how many else white men they got left. We ain't talk shit about.
We've got lots of white men we can get through.
I mean, I guess we can go in John Wayne. That's the older white
John Wayne was a Nazi.
John Wayne was. He was
total Nazi.
John Wayne is like the definition of everything bad that you shouldn't like a person for. Like, there's no reason.
Just like everyone likes Chuck Norris, but Chuck Norris is like if you've ever heard him talk about his ideals, he's a super fascist asshole.
But he's super Huckabee over Trump. He is super Huckabee. Huckabee and him are like best friends. That's why Huckabee will bring Chuck Norris to Texarkana every time he's running for president.
Oh yeah. I know.
One reason why I was like, man, I wish Huckabee was running. It'd be cool to see Chuck again. Yeah, he just brings us through.
Old Chuck.
You know, we idolize white people like way too crazy. We do. We idolize. We love to idolize white people. Oh my God, black people like to idolize white people. It's weird, man. It's weird. But like every time a black person try to idolize a black person, they're like, oh no, why do you just gotta make it black?
There's like the rare one, like your Michael Jordans and things like that, like the rare one. But
I think Michael Jordan was probably, you could almost debate he was technically the first really superstar. Like you could say other ones like Muhammad Ali.
Because when I was a kid, dude, I was a Michael Jordan guy, dude. Like,
I mean, like Mike, like dude, like on levels like if life is a game, he revolutionized it. Like this, bar none. And like before him, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jackson, they really like to like black people. They really changed the game on it, right?
Yeah.
And you got a little like Mike Tyson or Shaft, but really like Mike, like he just took it. Space Jam was a hit. It's kind of crazy to think about, like a sports guy doing a movie with the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's like when I was a kid, I was real into basketball until I tried to play it and found out I wasn't any good at it.
You're like, oh, this is why the blacks rule it. Oh, okay.
I'm not aggressive enough for this. Okay. But no, like me and my cousin used to watch Bulls games all the time.
Well, I'm from Chicago, so we had to watch. It was like I never heard a Chicago person say they didn't like the Bulls. I think you would get beat up. Talk about like early cancel. You get jumped. I would like even now.
That means like the bar has fallen so low as far as consequences. Like you used to get jumped, but now you just get talked badly about in public.
Yeah, it's like one of them things. Like if you like, I feel like if anybody didn't like the Bulls or didn't like Jordan or the Jordan shoes back then, you just shut up about it. You didn't say, I never, ever. I'm talking about Bulls win, we're rocking the streets. Everybody's high-fiving. It's a good time. Like, it's the you think Chicago is a whole different place because it's so peaceful.
Yeah.
Right? But Bulls won, so we didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there was not going to be no riot, bro. We out there wilding, bro. Bulls win again, bro. And that's why, like, Jordan is really, you know, like 90s is, like, mainly Jordan.
Yeah.
It's mainly, like...
For me, it was like basketball and pro wrestling. That's what the 90s were.
And then, like, The Rock really kind of, like, took that ball. And, like, Rock never really said he was black, but he was dark enough. We know who Soul Man Rocky Johnson is. He's a black man. So Rock is black. That's the Negro for us. No, throwing the title, you smell with the eyebrow. Every kid did the eyebrow, looking around.
Oh, yeah.
You
Everyone.
know? Jabroni is in the dictionary. You know?
That's so wild.
That's so wild. Take You to SmackDown Hotel made a whole show about SmackDown. His catchphrases are immortalized, like just to the same level as him. Right?
And he still has it, is the thing.
He is so on point. That's why when he went to Hollywood, I know he's going to be a big deal. Did you know when they introduced what the Xbox was, Bill Gates hired him to introduce it?
Really?
Yes. There's a video, Rock comes out and he's like, and he does this full promo talking about like the Microsoft system and it's the Xbox. Rock did it. Yeah.
Damn.
He was in this The Mummy 2, and he's the weird CGI thing, but you knew he's big. He's the Scorpion King. And you knew like he wasn't good at acting, was a little bit different, but you just waited. And I knew it. Like he did all the Disney movies, and now like he's the biggest actor. He's the. Now he owns the XFL. That's gonna be huge. Like you just knew it. Like Rock kind of like took that ball.
It seems like some people just have the juice like that, man.
That man, like
there are very rare people that no matter what it is that they would have tried to do, they would have been successful at it.
He's not only gifted, but like you can tell his work ethic is unmatched.
Yeah, dude. Like if you follow him on Instagram, he's up at like 3:00 every morning in the gym, just like clanging weights.
Grinding. He can retire at any point.
Yeah, he could just stop. Like he's got enough size now that if he stopped working out, he would like be reasonably sized the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Period.
And, like, this guy, like, he's so great. And then, like, there's levels to it, right?
That's a discipline thing. Mm-hmm. Like, that's, like, a thing for, like, guys that work out all the time is, like, it's almost, like, meditative. It's that thing of waking up and going to war with yourself every day.
And he just has it. And I love that, like, it's always little things that reinvent himself. Like, when him and Kevin Hart did that first movie together, they had it, and then it became a Rock and Kevin Hart. Like the small guy and big guy just make fun of each other, and then they start getting booked in other movies together. They're like, oh, this is a great duo. Like they just keep going, and now like The Rock has been signed to his movie called Black Adam, the Captain Marvel movie, since like 2007. But it was a writer's strike in 2007, right? They just did recently, like a month ago. Rock is finally going to be that role. He's been signing contracts since 2007. And he's finally going to do that role, and people are hyped about it. And he's been doing he wear a shirt of it or whatever else. He's been hinting at it, like, I'm still on contract.
And you want to talk about, like, someone with work ethic? Like, Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, grind. You know, I tell this people all the time, right? Like, Kevin Hart did old school Def Comedy Jam back in the day, right? He, you know, clearly wasn't the one picked that rise to the supreme. His thing that was supposed to make him stardom, Soul Plane. Clearly a bust. The man eventually gets it. Eventually gets his stardom, and it showed, and it pays off for him. People like Kevin Hart's reached that point where people don't. I hear people don't like him. Look, Kevin Hart's not funny because he's so big. Kevin Hart gets all the movies,
which is super silly. And that's an attitude that exists in all different kinds of entertainment medium. Like once someone becomes so successful, it's not cool anymore. Like if we're talking about people who have like an incredible work ethic, who are like just bound and determined to succeed, and also suffer from that like too big to be cool anymore, like Skrillex, completely. He got, maybe not a lot of people know this, but he was the lead vocalist of a band called From First to Last, and they got pretty big during the first wave of like emo, and then depending on who you talk to or what source you read, he blew his voice out or got kicked out of the band or whatever, and then started doing the EDM thing and got way bigger than that band. But now he also has that same thing, like people who are into people who are into electronic music, they'll be like, "Oh, Skrillex is not really good." It's just like,
I hate that. Like everybody, like you knew it was Skrillex when you hear, "Oh my god!"
No, like
you knew you were a fan of Skrillex.
No, like subjectively, as like I don't know a lot, but I've like tinkered around with EDM, just making it in my own time. For one, way harder than I anticipated as a traditional musician, just to make it. It requires
to mix sounds together.
Yeah, it requires so much patience, and
very tedious.
Yeah, it's very tedious. And also just from analyzing his music, he is fucking brilliant.
Yes.
Like the way he merges sounds together and creates atmospheres is brilliant.
But I think when Skrillex got really big, it got really popular really fast and had all these like what was it? These playlist buttoners. And I think that was what we call it, like Paris Hilton, all these other people were to like press a button and got big. Shaq's actually a pretty decent one. I don't know, like Shaq, T-Pain, and Lil Jon, RZA, like during that way, like a lot of people were like DJs and still DJ, right?
Yeah.
And it just became that, you know, it became so popular and everything else, but Skrillex still like reigned ahead, right?
Yeah.
Then plus they meshed it in because like Deadmau5 was progressive house, and they're like, oh, I don't know the difference. But when you don't respect a genre, of course you're not going to know the difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Or if you just, like, you either have to not respect a genre or not have an understanding of music in general. And that's something that, like, musicians are going to take the lead on, and generally speaking. Because I have some friends who are musicians that don't respect electronic music at all, and I try to tell them that it's a completely different craft that is very complicated, and if you're good at it, you are very good at your craft.
Well, it's like how people don't respect rap. Like, Ben Shapiro doesn't respect rap, but like, talk about somebody with work ethic and dominated, like a black hero. Like I say black hero, nobody's gonna say it, but he was a black hero. Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
Lil
totally.
Wayne, like to own the game the way Lil Wayne is. Like there's rappers, and like to have that like tenure, like he's not popular now, but like Wayne was something different. Like Wayne had worked. Wayne was dropping music monthly.
Yeah, he worked on it all the time.
Everybody listened to it, so it was good music.
On cough syrup.
Yes,
I've done cough syrup. Let me tell you, hard to do anything on cough syrup.
And apparently he didn't write, like he would just like go through, like he had a weird, different way. But Wayne was like super dedicated, super about his music. He would join features and everything else. Like Wayne was like he was just a different animal. And like Wayne said he was the best rapper, and at one point I never heard a person question him.
Yeah.
I never even heard another rapper say he wasn't.
Bro, I can like go back and listen to the Carter 3 now and just like chuckle constantly because his wordplay is so good.
So crazy.
It's so good.
Like No, like the way, like just it's just so. Oh my god! I could just go like there's so many songs. Like I could just have like a full playlist. Like, but I get it. Like that's our era. But it was like that level of dedication he had, right? And that's why I like. And there's like several other rappers. I would say like Drake, Kanye, Jay-Z. Nobody wants to give Jay-Z the props, but Jay-Z been in the game and still very relevant. It's kind of unheard of in music, and like Lil Wayne, you can pick over. Anybody else can debate the fifth, but these goats have just stayed in and just reinvented themselves, coming out with music. Within like 3 years, they're gonna have something. Wayne hasn't had nothing I can like think of in the last couple of years, but he has.
I think he did it the right way. Like he did so well and made so much money that he can like back off of it, and just chill on it. And he's going to be fine financially. And then whenever something comes up that is actually worth his time, he can hop in and do it.
Well, a Wayne's greatest hits would be like everybody's playlist, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going to have, what was the song with Goon the Goblin? What was the song?
That's Young Money, isn't it?
No, that was his song. Like, nothing. You saying nothing. On that bullshit. Call it Dennis Rodman. I had to sense to myself because I was like, oh wow, we can say the F word back then. I forgot about that. What was it when he freestyled it or whatever?
A Millie?
A Millie.
Yeah.
He's gonna have like a Millie. You're gonna have a Lollipop.
Got the Lamborghini dancing on the bridge, pussy popping.
Right? You're gonna have all the greatest hits. You know, you're gonna have all your favorite hits. You know, he can come to the best and everybody's going to buy or download or listen to it on Spotify.
And he has that kind of presence where, like, if he does anything at all, any feature, whatever, like, that shit's immediately going to get checked out a million times.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be looked at. Like, even now, I don't care for Wayne, but, like, Wayne dropped the album, like, this year. I didn't like it, but I still listened to the whole thing.
This year?
Yeah, Funeral album. We talked about it, and that's how bad it was. We just went back. It was that weird like tattoo way. Like if you flipped the funeral, it said Lil Wayne. It was like yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the Carter 5. Like I didn't like it.
You know, I really thought Carter 5 was better than Carter 14. Listed off list, and I re-listened to Carter 4. I was like, whoa, Carter 4 had that heater, man. I was real shocked.
Yeah, it had bangers on it, dude.
But I forgot like the promoting Carter 4 was like 3 to 4 years. Like it went so far because John and like I think Mirror is on Carter 4, and those are like way distant of song when he promoted those as singles.
Yeah.
Because John came out in like 2011, 2012, and like Mirror came out in like 2013 or 12. Like it was like distant, like 2 or 3 years distant. But like Carter 5, I'm trying to think what it had on there. He had a song with like XXXTentacion, which XXXTentacion, R.I.P. to a legend. He's not a legend. Our XXXTentacion would have been great. If you want some emo black music, you will love XXXTentacion. Right? Like he was really on to something. But he had that, and he had a song with Kendrick, and I could think of. But then you were like, no, Carter 4. And you know what's funny? I only listened to the intro. Like there were intro songs that had Tech 9 and Andre 3000. I listened to that like all day. Cause I was like, man, this ain't got Wayne on it, but it's so hard. And you're like, it has John. It had you were like listing off songs. I was like, whoa, Carter 4 was
Mega Man, Blunt Blowing.
I thought Blunt Blowing was a mixtape song.
6 foot, 7 foot. Like, come on, yeah.
6 foot. Oh my god, Women on My Dream. What was it?
How to Hate a Bitch.
What was that? Wayne said so many crazy things in 6 foot 7, 7 foot. He said something like "Woman on My Dreams," but I don't sleep, so I can't find her.
Yeah.
He was just saying such wild things.
Yeah, like so many like weird one-liners that were just clever, man.
I love that's why I like 2 Chainz. You know, he just said like, ew, I love one line. Like, oh, that's clever. That's
but 2 Chainz is like just funny one-liners.
It is funny one line. But like,
she got a big booty, so I call her Big Booty.
Did I tell you somebody made me realize that line was relevant to my life?
How?
It was crazy. Okay.
Explain, Mr.
This is crazy. Like, I didn't think it was relevant. He explained it. Like, so, all right. You're at like a party, you're at the club, whatever else, and we chilling, and you see this like big booty chick, right? But you don't know the chick's name. What you gonna say? Hey, big booty! Come here, hey, big booty! And then if you never get her name, you're like, hey, you remember Big Booty? Yeah, bro, she was thick. And now, like, that's legit her name. And I was like, why is it so? I was so mad. It's relevant. Like I do that. But like, hey, we just make nicknames for people we don't know, right?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, this is
wonderful.
2 Chainz still said, I'm drunk and high at the same time, drinking champagne on an airplane. Bars. I don't care what you say. That is a hard line.
Bars.
That was bars, bro. I was like, okay, I'll give you 2 Chainz.
You were surprised the other day that I knew a verse from, what was it, On to the Next?
What Zealand did, I expected from you. Literally, I expected you to do that whole, this is my favorite Jay-Z song. Thought you'd be the edgy white kid and say some bullshit. I expected that from you, so I was really shocked that you knew and Zaylan did that. I was really just shook. Like, what?
Man, I love Zaylan death. Zaylan, if you're watching, I love you to death. But he be saying some corny shit.
He do be saying corny shit. Jay-Z has some bars. Like, people, like, sleep on Jay-Z. Like, he has some pretty decent bars, right?
Dude, like, he has so many good-ass songs.
But it's weird. Jay-Z doesn't get his problem, but he's been having good songs since the 90s.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he just comes out and, like, you're just like, man, this track is fucking fire. Like, you're just like, this is dope, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. And Jay-Z just, like, I don't know if Jay-Z reinvents himself, but Jay-Z is extremely consistent, like Drake. Like, they're just so consistent. Unlike Jay-Z, Jay-Z's albums more sound the same. Drake will sound different. That's why, like, Wayne's albums sound more the same. Mm-hmm. Jay-Z's albums more sound the same. Drake and Kanye, completely different in song. Like, you don't know what album you're going to get. Right? Yeah. I would say I like more of Kanye's albums than Drake albums. Like, the last couple Drake albums, I've been, like, real meh. Yeah. But at the same time, I've been real meh on Kanye's album. But I don't know. Like, I haven't found, like, in, like, rap, I haven't found, like, an album I can, like, listen to.
The thing about Kanye that's different from Drake is, like, if I'm in a particular mood, like if I'm sad or I'm feeling angry or I'm happy or whatever, like, I can pick, I know what Kanye album to go to for that, as where Drake is just like Drake.
I feel like Drake, I don't know, like so if I'm sad, I'm going to Take Care.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Marvin's Room.
Marvin's Room, right? If I'm feeling like kind of hood, I'm going
Stay out of Marvin's Room.
Stay out of Marvin's Room, right? Or
it's our advice to the audience at home. Stay out of Marvin's Room.
Or Loving the Crew. Like, she loving the crew. Like, if you feel like you dated that one chick that you loving the crew, Well, you got Drake kind of had that, but then, like, it's weird because, like, Drake don't have, like, a straight hype album. He just got, like, 2 or 3 songs on each album that's hype.
Yeah.
And that's a weird thing. Like, Yeezus is not the sad album.
No.
Yeezus is not. If you're feeling like schizo, you go to Yeezus and you just manic out, right?
I don't know, like, what mood it is that I go to Yeezus, because Yeezus is my favorite Kanye album. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's definitely not sad. I'm not putting it on if I'm sad. I'm not putting it on if I'm happy. If I'm just, like, in the zone, I think.
I feel like it's not, because it's like a very manic thing. But, like, you know what? A lot of music now sounds like Yeezus. Mm-hmm. A lot of, like, Travis Scott sounds like Yeezus, whatever else. Yeah. It's really, like, dope and everything else. It's crazy. Like, I'm excited to see. I had to be, like, on level. Like, I'm kind of waiting for Kanye to stop being as much Jesus. Like, he's too, like, Jesus came, like...
That's the part that's annoying to me, man.
I feel like...
Shut up about Jesus.
I get it. Every black person has to go through the truth. Every person, especially in America, you have to find your truth.
Yeah. Right?
We have that much freedom where we have to find the truth. That's why you have all these people. They just be so different than what they were. Like, even us too, like, we just have to go through and find the truth. And I think Kanye does that through his music. Now he's doing his little Jesus thing, and he has to find his truth on what scriptures are real, how Christians act. Also being a father. Like, he has to kind of, like, learn that.
It's weird when someone, like, flips a bitch like that real fast. My front, or the manager at my last job, I showed up to work one night, and she was just, like, dressed in all Pentecostal get up. And I was like, whoa, why are you dressed like that? And she was like, oh, I'm part of the Pentecostal church now. I was like, oh, it's just like that, huh?
Well,
it's just that instantly, huh?
So apparently right before that, a lot of people was making memes about it, but, like, Kanye was like really going. Like Kanye been wanting to do a gospel album, right? Like Life of Pablo is apparently a gospel album. You hear hints of that, but it's like there's no way it's a gospel album. But no church person wanted to help him, and he did a "I Love It" song, right? Talking about hoes and everything else, right? Doing that song was to help. I think it was the Pornhub Awards or something like that, and he got free to subscription. And Kim Kardashian West said she went downstairs and Kanye would just have a plethora of TVs playing different porn thing, and Kanye would just look at it. I'm like, what kind of egotistical? Like, there's no way you're taking in every porn, just eyes moving around, just like all this at the same time, right?
I'm taking pieces and bits for my spank bank,
right? I'm just gonna assume like every channel was like a different kink.
Yeah,
like everything was a king, and he was just like absorbing in. But like Kanye was like really like he was just in that level.
People are getting serious about trying to take Pornhub down, man.
Yeah, but Kanye was on that level, and then like it was just like obvious. There were signs that Kanye was really going through an issue, and there were signs that they were showing the people around him that he wasn't putting on Twitter. That's when you knew it was serious.
Yeah,
and that's when he had he needed to chill out, and that's why he was like, all right, I'm not gonna curse. He needed to like go through that monk stage. Christians go through this weird like Buddhism monk stage of cleansing themselves and distancing themselves and trying to like discipline themselves. And I think he needed that because like Kanye was really wild. Like I listened to the leaks of Yandi. Kanye has a song talking about plastic surgery called New Body. Talking about like, and Nicki Minaj is on there and she's like, you didn't sleep with me, you slept with my old body. I was like, what?
God.
That's a hard bar, but she's like talking about, you didn't sleep with Nicki, you slept with Nicole. Like, these are bars that she said in the song, which is like, wow, like a straight up song about plastic surgery. Like, Kanye's album was like, Yandi was a wild album, right? Like, it was really wild. It was like an uplifted Yeezus, right? It was going to be more like, it was kind of wild, but it was more uplifted Yeezus. But it's still like, he has a song about plastic surgery. He's literally promoting plastic surgery, And I think like Kanye was just in this weird, I think he was in this weird place that he just needed to humble himself and take a step back. That's where I kind of saw that he needed to. And now like, you're getting this Kanye, he's so business oriented. You kind of see that, cause like he was like 1 billion, 3 billion, 5 billion. I don't know if numbers go up like that in billions. I don't know if that's how it works. Also, like, the state of Wyoming stopped him from buying more land.
That's how it works in Fable whenever I jack up the rent prices on everyone.
Okay, calm down some, Lord.
No, like, I think that you talk about that monk stage. I think that's important for every single person to do, and it's not a religious thing. It does not have to be dedicated to some religion, but I think it's very important to meditate and be disciplined about something and really focus on sitting with those feelings that you don't like.
I wish they would do that better in school. Like, I wish like school had a thing where you kind of like learn. Like, I know for me, I'm constantly trying to learn like what system works for me to want to work out. I always fab workout and fab diet, but I don't really have a system work for me. I just kind of like do whatever. And now in a relationship, it's been more difficult. Like, I can't just do whatever I want when I want. I have to like work around whatever. Like, in a relationship, there's just certain things you have to learn and do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I wish I had that in school, like this certain level of like discipline to do. Because what is it? It's determination and discipline that gets you far in life. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about, like people with work ethic. Like Rock has it.
Discipline will take you a long way. But I think what would help people a whole lot, and this is like, I'm not a religious person, but there are certain aspects of like Buddhism that I relate to strongly and that have helped me out a lot. And a lot of what like Buddhist meditation focuses on is like, we all have that feeling in our chest or our brain or whatever you want to say, that it's the reason why we pull out our cell phones all the time. It's like that overbearing loneliness that happens when you're not doing anything. Some might say it's like the fear of death or like understanding that this is finite or whatever, but it's considered an unpleasant feeling. And a lot of what Buddhist meditation is like sitting with that and feeling it until it starts to change of its own accord, which I have found very helpful personally, because like that's helped me mentally, and I think it would help a lot of other people mentally, is just to like sit with those unpleasant feelings until you can change what they mean to you.
Man, that would change. That would help so many people. It would help so many people to deal with that, and then they can change their like everything around them.
Yeah.
Like you can put yourself in a certain spot, but like people hate being uncomfortable, and that's one thing. Like if anything else, people hate being uncomfortable, right?
And uncomfortable is the gateway to growth. Period. Like no kind of growth happens without discomfort.
But I think we're scared more of cancel culture than we are for uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody's more uncomfortable being called racist than dealing with they have racist feelings.
Yeah.
Right, and that's an issue. That's a
Yeah.
big issue. You need to deal with like racism, homophobia, even down.
You don't need to worry about your public perception as much as you need to honestly dissect what makes you tick and
exactly but
what happens inside of you.
even down to where this can get me canceled is saying down to your sexuality.
Yeah.
You need to be honest because there's plenty of people they don't really know and they champion something because it's just the crowd or whatever else, but they don't really know. Right? And I get a lot of it's pushed on us, but we need to deal with that uncomfortable feeling. But like, it's kind of difficult with like talking to people and understanding and growing and be like, I need to grow with this. I need to talk to the person. I need to just like change within myself. But you need your friends, and it depends on how you like deal with people. Because social media is a bubble, and social media will have you out here being the worst piece of shit ever, thinking you're right.
Yeah.
Right, it'll keep you. That's why, like I think Zaylen said in the chat, he like, do you just like seek these things? I'm like, no, this is my timeline. I was like, and I said like my timeline is wild, and that's why I share in the chat. And you just see, I would share the most wildest of things. I would share memes or anything. And like I just scroll through. I'm not really in the groups of it. I just go through and I just share it. And it's like I go out my way adding people like that and everything else, and it's uncomfortable. That's why I give myself breaks. Because we have to also give ourselves a balance and breaks of visual diet.
That's a hard thing to toe, though. Because, like, you can do the discipline thing for so long. And this goes all the way from, like, diet and exercise to, like, the mental stuff that we're talking about. It's like you can go with discipline for so long and you get so used to doing that. And then you take a break and then you get comfortable in that and you don't want to, like, jump back into the work.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want to get back into the work because the work is not comfortable. It hurts.
That's true. Work does hurt. But that's why this is why I'm so strong on school because like we need to like give kids these tools for them to like be like, you had this in school at a young age so you know it. So it's not like out of the ordinary when you're older.
Yeah.
You
Meditation's a big one.
It's a big.
It's a fucking big one.
Just to look at it as like it's weird.
There's like some weird social stigma, like people still attach like Eastern religion influence
but the same
to
difference
it.
is praying.
It's the same thing as praying.
Same thing as praying.
Exactly the same thing. It's sitting with yourself and like dissecting yourself and allowing yourself to feel the things that you normally try to put off.
That's true.
That's what it is.
We need to like work towards that as a society. But I've noticed like other countries do that. A lot of people do that. A lot of other places. But America's is just a weird melting pot of very strong white Christians.
Our culture is very superficial.
Very. But that's capitalism.
Yeah.
Right? Like movies and all this other stuff.
I don't think it's necessarily capitalism. I think it's just like America. America is very superficial. It's all about like everything is success oriented.
It is. That's why we like to be a billionaire and all these other things, or a rapper, or movie star.
And here's the thing that people don't get: that shit's not gonna make you happy. It's not.
And that got confused. That right there gets confused with money can't buy you happiness. Money can't, but you have to know yourself well enough.
You have to know what it is that you need to make you happy.
Yes, but money can buy you happiness. But if you don't know what to buy, you're not gonna be happy.
Yeah,
that's a big misconception people bring up in, right? Like when you see all these rich people, I was so upset and wanted to kill myself. He didn't know what to buy.
Yeah.
He clearly didn't know himself too.
And it's not even about buying. It's about like, what do you spend your time on?
When you have all the time in the world. It's like the thing, like, it's easy for people that have like a finite amount of choices, like the Raising Cane concept. Yeah. Right? You only pick out of 4 things, so you don't have anxiety of a big variety list. Right? So you know it's simple, you know it's chicken, you know it's tenders, you know. You go there, you instantly already know what you want. It's not a big question. It's not, what do I do now? You already know.
Yeah.
Right?
And matters of the spirit or psyche or whatever you want to call it, they're not ever that simple. Mm-hmm. It's not a menu you can order off of.
That's true.
It's something you have to really spend time on, and you have to delve into yourself and figure out who you are and what makes you tick, and
it's
what
learning
you need.
yourself. And not only learning yourself, it's also learning to forgive yourself.
Yes.
Like, we're so big on canceling. A lot of people that cancel also are doing the same bad things, but, like, you have to learn to forgive yourself, and then people have to forgive. Like, I don't even, like, people... I know so many people that were, like, pedophiles and racist people and rapists. Like, I do. I really... And, like, we have this real thing, like, they get death penalty and everything else, and it's like, man, you know how many list of people that should get the death penalty? You're probably one of them. It's really... And, like, nobody wants to accept that because they feel like if you're on that strong side, you're not that person.
Yeah.
That's not the case, right?
No.
It just takes this form of learning and growth, but growing and changing is difficult. How do you determine that? It takes time, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I guess that's why it's easier just to cancel, you know?
Yeah, you're entirely correct.
Also, the older you get, it's harder to kind of change. Old dogs, new tricks. It's really hard to change your ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, like, changing your ways is a thing that you have to, like, kind of supplement throughout your life. Mm-hmm. Like, that ability to, like, learn new things or change your worldview or whatever is something, that's a skill that you have to nurture as you get older.
That is.
Because if you try to start doing that shit when you're, like, 70, you might have a hard time.
Well, we're in the age, because we're in the 30s. This is the time, like, where we kind of know where we can be more malleable if we know we need to, like, grow from something. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's where you kind of be. When you're in the 30s, you have to be open to be malleable. Because once you hit the 30s, you're kind of stuck as that person.
They say that whoever you are whenever you turn 30 is more or less who you're going to be.
It was kind of like the mental thing, like the whole, like, mentally ready for sex. Like, 25 is kind of like you're becoming that person. Once you hit the 30s, you are that person. And depending on how, like, you shape yourself, you're almost going to be always that person.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's why it's just kind of like, it's no use to, like, arguing with certain people over subjects. Because they're just going to be that person. They're, you know, they're a product of their time. Everything else. That's why, you know, it takes these things to, like, learn and grow. You know, you have to be open. Also, people need to travel. Like, field trips need to be going out of the country.
Oh, dude, there's so many places I want to go see. So many places.
Man.
I want to go to Scandinavia, Ireland. I want to go to Africa. I want to go...
Man, Africa... Don't be vague than Africa. Don't do that.
I don't know enough about Africa to, like, be specific.
I hate when people do that because nobody ever said that. You didn't say you want to go to Europe. You name places. I want to go to Africa. Africa's really big. It's not like Australia.
Yeah, but, like, Africa is like North and South Africa, from my understanding. Like, I know that that's really broad, but that's like the two places.
Oof.
I know. I don't know enough. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I did not mean to offend you.
Africa is like what, the second biggest continent? Like, it's super big. There's, like, okay, Egypt. It's not like Egypt is like East.
Yeah, but some people like argue whether or not Egypt is part of Africa because it's so far north.
Still Africa though.
I know that.
East Egypt is different from Libya. There's two different places.
Basically, I want to go.
But that's east and west. That's not even going, and they're both northern. That's not going to the other ones. Madagascar is an island. Right, like, I can go down the list. There's 54 country provinces, whatever you want to say, in Africa. They're different. Yes. And I hate when people so vague. It's like, well, you're African American. Which part of Africa am I from, homie? You don't say you're European American. Like, I hate that. Yeah. I hate how vague we say that, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I did not mean to offend you.
I'm from America. Are you Mexican? Like, I'm going to start doing that. Are you Canadian? Because they're all Americans, too. Huh? You're from Brazil? Because that's also in America. Like,
I didn't mean to bother you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
We only do that to Africa. Like,
I know.
Right there. And like, I knew you were going to say Asia. You're going to say...
But, like, I would do the same thing with Russia.
But you're going to say Japan? You wasn't going to say Asia. Look, I don't know. All I heard is there's North and South Asia. You wasn't going to do that. You're going to name Asian places.
Yes, you're correct.
Egypt is one of the places everybody wants to go to.
Yeah.
Right? Because Egypt has all the pyramids and cool stuff.
Yeah. Right? But to be fair, like, I would say the same thing about Russia because I don't know shit about Russia.
But that's not a continent.
That's a pretty big terrain of land.
70% of Russia is frozen ice terrain. You kind of look and see, oh, ice, ice, ice. And then you go to the place that's got like the weird.
Now I got to do research just to like counteract you and say that they're different regions.
You're gonna look up and you're gonna be like, dang, he right. It is Russia's the biggest country and it's mostly ice.
I apologize. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
It's just a typical thing when people do it in Africa. When we're gonna get to the point where we can start canceling people for talking wrong about Africa?
Again, you can only cancel someone if they accept being canceled.
A lot of people accept being canceled. That's what this whole generation is. I almost at this point I'm ready to be canceled. I feel like people have tried off of my statuses, and I'm kind of ready to be canceled. Like I'm kind of like
keep pushing it, bud. You're gonna get there.
Huh? Bro, I'm really I don't want to be canceled for being big. I want to be canceled for being me, and I feel like being me is cancelable enough. All right, like I feel like I'm cancelable enough, but I feel like nobody will try me. Cause like go toe to toe to me, you're gonna take a L. Nobody want to go toe to me. And like I was like, prove me wrong. Like think I'm not cocky enough to not take it off, bro. You know, on the right amount of cayenne and right enough of Trump. That's cancelable enough, right? I just said.
I hate arguing with you. I'm just gonna say I hate doing it.
There's so many levels. Like I can hit you with facts, or I can just clown you. And I go in, I'll just clown the shit.
Most of the time, you like just double down on shit, and I can't go anywhere from there.
Then I'll wait. Like even if I take an L, I'll wait. Then I'll bring something else. Like Zaylen said something about Jay-Z, and I waited. Then he said something like, "You been helping clean." I was like, "You didn't have to
dude, you like respect. You were so fucking hard on him. You were so hard on him.
And I waited. I was like, I'm about to hit this man one more
He posted a joke, and you were like, "No one's talking to you."
Well, you better put some respect on Hove's name.
All right. We need to end this. We need to wrap it up. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Oh man, cancel yourself so you can grow.
That's a good thought. that is summarizing things so well. Cancel yourself so you can grow. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to call that the end of the episode. We're both drunk. Have a good night. See you later.